Some psychologist somewhere probably once said that the human mind gravitates towards negativity, and in our current social media landscape, the fascination with bad pieces of media is the greatest example of this. We all love a good train wreck, and there's plenty of examples of bad pieces of media serving as entertainment for reasons that the creators didn't intend. Mighty Number 9, the Emoji Movie, Gotti, the list goes on. But while the reactions to many of these pieces of media are all certainly interesting, they're all contained in their own small bubbles. However, there is one movie that was so bad that mocking it became a full-on cultural phenomenon that was seemingly never-ending. A one-of-a-kind movie that nobody has seen but has still drawn international attention regardless. Ladies, gentlemen, cool non-binary people, allow me to tell you the story of Morbius.
Where's the piece of this puzzle? I'm begging, please. Where's the answer? The world needs the void to keep us safe above the ground. I'll risk my life.
Our story begins in the 90s, where Marvel was doing absolutely horribly financially. So in order to increase its revenue, the company sold licensing rights to its characters. This is why there's Marvel rights at Universal, why the film rights to the X-Men used to be owned by Fox, except for the two really weird exceptions, and most importantly to this video, why Sony currently holds the film rights to Spider-Man and any characters from the sphere of the Marvel Universe. Flash forward to the late 2010s. Marvel has now been owned by Disney for around a decade and is repeatedly getting into heated copyright fights with Sony. So naturally, Sony would want to make movies based on some of the iconic villains from the Spider-Man franchise. They started with two films about Venom and Carnage respectively. Both films are cinematic masterpieces with deep socio-political commentary, which is a pretty good start. So, which iconic Spider-Man villain will follow in their footsteps? Morbius the Living Vampire. Never heard of him before the movie was announced? Yeah, me neither. Well, it's not like a movie starring a relatively obscure character is inherently bad. Maybe it could be the spark of innovation that the oversaturated superhero genre desperately needs. So, which actor will star as Morbius and lead this genre-wide revolution? Oh, it's the guy who became a complete laughingstock online and who is also a legitimately terrible person with a lot of serious allegations against him. So, Morbius was a sinking ship that was only exacerbated by a certain historical event messing with production. Box office analysts expected the movie to do badly in comparison to the average cave ship movie, but Sony's marketing team wasn't going to go down without a fight, so they began an extensive campaign. They made a cool-looking motion poster. They made an official Morbius Discord that even got its very own exclusive screening. They tried to deliberately mislead people into thinking that Morbius would tie into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and they arranged an interview between Jared Leto and a VTuber.
I love your character, is so cute. And your outfit is great too. It almost looks like a Gucci outfit. It's very, very nice. Do you have a tail, or is that your hair in the back?
Somehow, all these brilliant tactics did not work. Shocking, I know. But 1 week before the movie's premiere, Sony's marketing team had one last-ditch effort under their sleeve. They would set up a Q&A with the film's director where he would spoil the movie before it even came out. Naturally, this act of desperation would lead to Sony being mocked online. It became clear that nobody had any faith in Morbius, not even Sony. And so, when the film made it to theaters worldwide, it went about as well as you would expect. When comparing the film's total profit to other superhero movies released in the same time period, it is significantly less. Not only that, but critics absolutely tore the film apart. Morbius really does, suck. Yes, we couldn't even come up with something more inventive, folks. A flat, dull mess of a blockbuster that commits the cardinal cinematic sin of being unfathomably boring. Alas, Morbius is too bound to comic book movie convention to become the overt gay vampire superhero melodrama it probably should have been. But hey, one critic had something really nice to say about it. Not the best written, but Jared Leto's surprisingly restrained performance mixed with Matt Smith's scenery chewing makes this a decent enough monster movie. Wait, is that Memes mocking Morbius made their way to everyone's social media feeds. One particular trend related to the film was for the few handful of people who actually watched it to take pictures of the empty theaters they saw it in. Of course, there were image memes related to this trend, like this one featuring Goku and Vegeta. However, all these memes pale in comparison to what was brewing underneath the internet's collective noses. This is r/movies Circle Jerk, a subreddit dedicated to making fun of movies and movie fans. And on March 22nd, 2022, someone would post an edited screen cap of Morbius' Rotten Tomatoes page that made the film look better and more lucrative than it actually was. This post would start a trend of ironic Morbius praise on the r/movies Circle Jerk subreddit that would continue through other posts. There's two reasons why ironic praise for Morbius had such a strong appeal. One, it's just inherently fun to hype up something that quite frankly does not deserve to be hyped, and two, the ironic praise for Morbius is a natural extension of the memes surrounding the Venom films, which I covered in a previous video. The previously mentioned Rotten Tomatoes screen cap would get reposted to Twitter with the hashtag Morbius sweep on the same day. It should be noted that this technically wasn't the first use of the Morbius sweep term, as it was previously used in a Discord conversation in October of the previous year. However, both of these uses are based on the pre-existing hashtag Doomsweep meme, so it's more likely than not that they're both completely independent from one another. Anyways, the trend of ironically praising Morbius spread all across the internet. While the critic section of Morbius' Rotten Tomatoes page was still filled with the harshest insults possible, the audience section became filled with people gassing up the film. There was an edited image of Wikipedia's list of highest grossing movies that included Morbius. There was also an edit of the aforementioned Goku vs Vegeta meme to account for the Morbius sweep. And finally, the meme I love the most is this made-up news article about how Martin Scorsese described the film as the height of cinema and the thing that changed his opinion on comic book movies. What made this particular meme so special was how Tyrese Gibson, the actor who played Simon Stroud in Morbius, actually posted it to his Instagram under the false belief that it was a real interview. But something that's important to note about these memes is that the overwhelming majority of the people making them, myself included, did not actually see the movie. So it would be incredibly easy for someone to make up something that happens in it without getting fact-checked. And on April 2nd, someone would show the exact extent of Morbius misinformation that was possible. The best part of Morbius was when he said, "It's Morbin time," and morbed all over those guys. This tweet was made by Rada Rank 10 Yu-Gi-Oh!, an individual well known for running a Yu-Gi-Oh! Channel and also somehow managing to be in every comment section possible. Amongst the sea of Morbius memes, there was something about this specific tweet that stood out. Maybe it was because it was an easily recognizable reference. Maybe it was because it was the perfect personification of how nobody actually saw Morbius. Or maybe it was because this one tweet just got lucky in the social media algorithm lottery. Who knows? The phrase "It's Morbin time" became incredibly widespread and inseparable from the movie. Some people were genuinely surprised to find out that the phrase did not actually appear in the movie, and some people decided to add fuel to the fire by editing footage to make it seem like he actually said it.
It's Morbin time.
It's to the point where this dumb meme phrase inarguably had more of an impact than anything that was actually said in the movie itself. In fact, very few of the memes surrounding Morbius had anything to do with the actual contents of the film. The one exception was the have sex dance scene. In this scene, the character Milo dances in the most ridiculous and over-the-top way possible, while the song XK by the band Off the Meds play. Most people who've actually seen the movie say that it's ridiculously boring and not even enjoyable in a so bad it's good way. But this isolated scene would count as that category and stand out among the rest of the film. Another prevailing sentiment about Morbius that was just as common as a critique of it being boring was how it felt like it came from the 2000s. So a lot of the memes surrounding Morbius harnessed nostalgia for this era. For instance, there were a lot of fake mock-ups of Morbius tie-in games that were just like the shovelware you'd see on the PS2 and the DS. And there's also this one about Smash Bros. Brawl that specifically panders to my nostalgia.
Dr. Michael Morbius!
It's Morbin time.
Another genre of Morbius memes is just posting the entire movie in various forms. For example, there was one incident where someone was streaming the film on Twitch and got banned at the exact moment the credits started showing, as if some member of Twitch staff was actually watching their stream. But this isn't really noteworthy because if you think pirating films in their entirety isn't a common occurrence on Twitch, you're painfully naive. Instead, there's plenty of people who've gone above and beyond when it comes to posting Morbius in its entirety. On Tumblr, someone made the movie into a tiny GIF. As one commenter eloquently put it, "Gotta get the Mormifying glass out to watch this." Similarly, Twitter user Fires Here posted the entire script of the film in a long thread. It should also be noted that said user ran the Bad Marvel Memes Twitter account, an account that went from posting other people's genuinely terrible Marvel memes to posting memes that were intentionally made to be as terrible as possible. Said account was also a decently big part of the spread of Morbius memes on Twitter. And lastly, there was a trend on Discord where users would post the entire movie as an MP4 file. Anyone who wanted to see the film could easily do so for no cost. The world had truly entered a great pirate era. With all these memes combined, it seemed like everyone was talking about Morbius, and Sony took notice. Whether they deliberately tried to harness the film's mimetic reputation or they mistook the meme for genuine praise, they decided to give the film a second chance in over 1,000 theaters. Now, this isn't particularly new for Sony because Spider-Man Far From Home and Venom Let There Be Carnage both got similar re-releases. But what is new is the outcome of this decision. The re-release of Morbius crashed and burned, making only $85,000 on its first day, which is a comically low amount for a superhero movie. Morbius became the first movie in the history of cinema to ever bomb twice. Just like a classic tragic hero, Sony was defeated by its own hubris. This seemed like a perfect end to the meme. Most memes either die from a slow or natural decay or get murdered by overuse, but the Morbius meme made sure to go out with a bang. Surely nothing could ruin this. Right? Right?
What are you reading?
Nothing really. Just
What are you reading?
On July 3rd, 2022, Jared Leto posted a video to both Twitter and TikTok where he acknowledged the meme. Now, corporate acknowledgement of a meme is already bad and usually enough to kill any given meme, but Jared Leto's video went even deeper. You see, as soon as the video went public, most Morbheads collectively agreed to end the meme for the sole reason that they didn't want to see Jared Leto experience even a remote amount of happiness. And at that point, the Morbius memes fizzled out and the few ones remaining took on a more cynical tone. There was the Change.org petition made with the attempt of getting the movie to crash a third time. Fun fact, if you multiply the amount of people who signed this petition by the average price of a ticket in the US, you'll get more money than the second run of Morbius made on its first day. There was also a convincing fake leak of Morbius appearing in Fortnite, which would have seemed to tie in with the trend of out-of-touch corporations trying to cash in on the meme. And there was even a trend of memes where the punchline was telling people to search up Jared Leto 15-year-old, putting the justified dislike of Jared Leto as a person on full display. But the final nail in Morbius' coffin was the rise of similar memes that ironically praised the new Minions movie. There was even a trend called Gentle Minions where people would go to showings of the movie in a suit and tie. The difference between the Minions movie and Morbius was that people actually went to see the former, which somehow made Morbius look even more pathetic.
Hi, what's your name?
My name's Luke. Matt, guess what? It's Morbin time. Alright.
It's what? It's what?
While he was working on the script for this video, a clip emerged of someone at Matt Smith's Comic-Con panel saying the "It's Morbin Time" line, and most of the comments were harshly bullying this guy and calling him cringe or whatever. Full disclosure here, I do not support this in any way, shape, or form. Cringe culture is bad, and if you participate in it, you should feel bad. But there was something that the video got me thinking about. If this guy did the exact same thing 2 or 3 months beforehand, he would have been celebrated as a legend instead of condemned. The life cycle of a meme is a strange thing. What could once seem like the funniest thing in the world would eventually be seen as cringe. Morbius was truly special as far as memes are concerned. People all over the globe were united under the truly noble goal of dunking on a giant corporation over a bad movie. It went beyond an ordinary meme and became a massive event that kept reaching new heights. But now, months later, this massive event is completely done. No matter how big or how widespread a joke is, it will eventually get old, except for rare exceptions, including a very special one linked in the description and the pinned comment. So if you see a meme and think it's funny, make sure to enjoy it in the moment as much as you can, cause you never know when it will be gone.